Welcome to the Wandering Stitches Knitting Podcast. This is episode 14. I've got my chores done. I've got some tea brewing. I've got a muffin waiting in the background for me to finish up taking up this yarn. In this episode, I'm going to take you along my journey in color exploration. I'm going to share with you some of my projects that I've been working on. I have a finished object, and I have a couple shawls to show you. And mostly I'll be talking about my color inspiration, where I find color inspiration, and how I'm building confidence in putting colors together. I look at Marie Wallen's cardigans and sweaters, and I'm just in awe. And I'd like to be able to confidently put colors together for colorwork sweaters. I'd really like to put my own colors together and not just what a kit has. So I am building the confidence, and I'm going to take you on the journey with me. So I hope you have a warm, cozy drink and a crafty project to sit back, relax, and let me keep you company while I chat about my crafty adventures. This podcast is more about the creative process as opposed to the knitting trends. So I hope that you can gain some inspiration and kind of think about your creative process and what thoughts, stories, and ideas go into your projects. So if that is your cup of tea, sit back and relax, and I hope you enjoy this episode. And thanks again for stopping by my little corner of YouTube. Hello, welcome to the Wandering Stitches Knitting Podcast. My name is Jess, and I like to welcome you to my little corner of YouTube. This is where I like to talk about my crafty adventures, in particular knitting, and in the summertime I like to also include my hiking adventures. Where it is winter in Maine, I don't get out a lot on hikes. I do, if the conditions are right for snowshoeing, I do go out and snowshoe a little bit, and I will include some footage once we get a decent amount of snow and the conditions are right for treks out in the woods. It's beautiful to explore the woods in the wintertime. But for now, I am just going to focus on my knitting projects. So thank you for following along if you're coming back, and if you are new to this channel, I greatly appreciate you stopping by. And if you see anything that you like, please leave a comment or ask any questions, and please feel free to like and subscribe and share if you feel so inclined to. So today I'm going to talk about what I'm wearing, and this is something that I knit a couple of years ago. This is the Jennifer Steingass Arboreal, and this is actually something that I knit twice. This is my second go around, and the first time I had knit it with, the pattern calls for a DK weight, and this version is knit in the Piece Fleece worsted weight. When I had made my first version, that was my first colorwork sweater experience, and I was very pleased with it, and I loved the pattern. I felt that there wasn't enough positive ease on it, so I wanted something a little more substantial, especially for winter activities like snowshoeing or skiing or ice skating. So I picked Piece Fleece, and this is the I always have to look up the name because I can never quite pronounce it, but it's the sea moss, Kamchatka. Sorry if I just butchered that. And the orange is Glasnost Gold, and I was inspired to put these colors together with the lichen that you see on the boulders on the trails. I thought it was really pretty. And I think, yeah, it was like up in Bar Harbor, Mount Desert Island, hiking around Acadia National Park that I saw these colors together, and I just wanted to put them together. So I followed the pattern. I knit this on US 6, and yeah, so it's super warm. I wore it today to go ice skating. I brought my daughter and her friend down to Portland, and we went ice skating. There's an outside rink that's right on the water, and it was pleasant. It was cold, but the sweater kept me warm, warm enough where I was able to give up my gloves to my teenage daughter, who didn't bring anything but a sweatshirt. So yeah. So Peace Fleece is a wonderful yarn to work with, and it is a great workhorse yarn for sweaters. It's thick, and there's no pilling, and this gets, and this gets a lot of wear. So that is this sweater, and I have a finished object, and again, a second go around, and this is more recent. I had knit these for a gift knit back in December with some yarn that was gifted. Oh, look it. So now I'm seeing that one is bigger than the other. So the yarn was gifted to me. It is vintage yarn. It is Fentex. I looked it up. It is in Ravelry. You can look up the yarn. And it this colorway is porcelain, and it is acrylic and mohair. My friend gave this to me from her 93-year-old mother's stash, and I turned around and knit my friend a pair. She had given me a bunch of skeins of the porcelain, plus there was one goldish yellow, which I held 2 strands double for the first set of these. I didn't say what they were. They are the lambing mitts. And these were this pattern was recommended by Becky in a HandKnit letter. So super easy. I was able to knit each one up in one mitt in an afternoon once I got out of work, and I was able to finish it super easy. And it is a garter rib stitch, which I really like. So I was able to get some feedback from my friend who got the first set, and she loves them. So this is going to be for another friend. And I thought, so I held the 2 strands double with the porcelain color, and this will go very nicely with her navy blue winter jacket. So finished object. I have a couple works in progress, and if you've been following along and you saw the last episode, I have not, from 2 weeks ago, I have not finished my mystery Advent shawl. I have made some progress. I am on day 15. I got it right back there. So here, I'll show it to you. This is a design from Renee Strouts, and I will put her Instagram here. And she created a shawl design that was mystery Advent perfect for whether or not she had designed it if you had 10 gram mini skeins or 20 gram mini skeins for the Advent calendar, which I did. I got a 20 gram mini skein set from Ruby and Rose's yarn. And so this is the start, and you kind of make your way through with the color blocks, and see if I can get all the way down. So I am just in love with each and every color, and so I just added this color on this morning. This pink is day 15, and so 10 more to go. I'm really enjoying this. I was able to bring this project with me. I had coordinated a little knit together yesterday, and this project was perfect to bring along, and and it's just garter stitch. So I was able to, with an I-cord edging, so I was able to just knit and talk and really not have to pay too much attention to this, because it's just, like I said, garter stitch. So I was working on this stripe yesterday at my little gathering. So if you are in the I would say that, I guess it's the Western Maine Lakes region area, I have started. It was a pretty good turnout. I started a little knitting group at Poland Provisions. It is a little sandwich gift shop, coffee shop. They just opened. It's on Route 26. And I'm thinking of doing a meetup probably every 2 weeks, once a month. We'll see how it goes. I feel like every 2 weeks is a decent amount, and I made a Facebook group, and I'll post the announcements on my Facebook and my Instagram. So if you're in the area and you are interested, feel free to shoot me a DM or just request to be in the Facebook group, and I will add you, so that way you know when the next event is going to be, and you can RSVP or ask any questions. So yeah, it was really nice, and the community is so small, and most of the women were from Poland, because we were in Poland, and they seem to all know each other one way or another. And then Corinne was with me, of course, and so we were just sort of like the outsiders, even though because she's not from Poland, and yeah, I live in the next town over. So but it was really nice, and I hope more people can come and join the knitting group and have a knitting community in real time, real life. So yeah, so I was able to do this, and I have to say, the one thing I don't like about this is this pairing to get, but whatever. Everything else is really beautiful, and I'm just putting it all together, and I think once I get the rest of the colors on, then this may not be as so like a mismatch to me, hopefully. So I will talk to you about the 3 words that I'm going to knit by for 2024. And this idea comes from Alexa, and I watch her podcast, and it is called Hey Alexa, Knit. And I was introduced from Becky per her recommendation from a HandKnit Letter podcast, and I immediately went over to Alexa's podcast and binge watched all of her episodes. And her most recent one, she talked about the 3 words to knit by, and so I thought that was really cool. So I came up with my own, because I like to, instead of coming up with New Year's resolutions, I like to come up with a word to sort of steer my how I go for the year. So last year's was courageous, and I think the biggest courageous thing that I was able to do was to start this podcast and stick with it consistently. And I am going to have a different word this year. It's going to be honest, and I think that's more of kind of looking deep within myself and asking myself if I'm being honest with how I feel and what I say and how I respond, as opposed to falling back as to what I normally do, which is do what I think the other person would want just to make them feel comfortable or to people please or I think I'm a pretty kind person, but I also think that I need to kind of look out for myself and see if honestly it's what I really feel, or anyways. So that is my word for the year, and so I really liked the 3 words to knit by. So my year started off with knitting this project, and so I thought colorful was going to be the first word, and then the other word was going to be resourceful and charitable. So the colorful is because this is like probably the most colorful thing I've put together on my own. Otherwise, I just sort of do what the designer had put together, or when I'm putting together outfits or whatever, it's sort of based on what I see in the store, and I feel terrible. I'm not very confident in putting outfits together or colors together, so I want to build more confidence in that, and in doing that I just want to explore different colors, pairings, and possibly even do a color theory class or whatever. I understand the wheel, and I've seen the wheel, and I'm somewhat familiar with the wheel, the color wheel, but I kind of want to just expand my own and see what is honestly what pleases me. So it's been really nice working with all of these different colors. Addie from the Ruby and Roses, I think, did a really nice job putting these colors together, and I keep showing them because I just think this whole color scheme is amazing. So these are really bright colors. My other color project is something that I've been sort of accumulating over the past year. If you've been following along, you know that I went on the main yarn cruise thing where there's no ship involved or boating involved, but you go around to all the shops and you visit the shops, get a stamp on your passport, and then you get a nice tour of Maine and all the local yarn shops. So I did that, and my intention was to go in there and collect Maine yarn. And I was going in there with the photo of my summer garden that has daylilies, various different colors of daylilies, and echinacea, and I do believe I had some yarrow in there also. So I had a photo, and I'll pop that up to sort of guide my color choices. And I then accumulated all of the balls of yarn, and I will show you the process in which I have them all caked up, and then I want to look at the photo and then sort of pair them up, because for New Year's cast on, I did the Night Shift Shawl by Andrea Mowry, and she's a Maine resident, and so I thought it would be really cool to have just this Maine made project. I was really nervous about the colors, and I wasn't sure how I was going to do it, but I took a video of me putting the colors together for the different segments, because Andrea did a nice job of including what her recommendations for the yarns were, but also she left the formula for color play for those who wanted to do their own yarn choices and colors. So I will pop in the video of me putting them together. So that was a lot of fun putting the colors together, and it seemed pretty easy. It didn't take me a whole heck of a lot of time to do that. And on January 1st, I cast on my project, and this is what I have so far. So this is like the little corner of the picture. And this is what I have so far. I think I'm on section 4. But yeah. So I'm super excited about this because it feels like I'm like painting. And just finding the color inspiration from the photograph, and I will talk about some other ways of gaining inspiration for color work and color pairings and color combinations. So Loretta from Knit My Way Home, she had her latest episode topic was color pairings and where she gets her inspiration, and she gets her inspiration from children's books. And she loves to collect children's books, and watching that episode really reminded me of a book that I've been carrying around since the 90s. When I was in college, I went to school in Boston, and my favorite hangout was Trident bookstore on Newbury Street, and it was a restaurant slash bookstore, and I used to love going in there and browsing through the books, and I came across a book that I'm not an artist or anything, but I had to buy this book. And so watching Loretta's episode and her just getting really super excited about the color combinations and inspiration from her books reminded me of this book, and A Journey into the Imagination, and it's the works of James Christensen. And I'm not even really familiar with who this guy is, but I was just incredibly awestruck with the illustrations and the combinations of colors. And I will show you kind of like what Loretta did as far as getting inspiration from just the colors and what's paired. And so I just think this illustration is amazing. And I never really did any further investigation as to who this guy was, or see like if he illustrated any children's books or anything like that, but I'm glad I have this book to reference. I want to sort of dive into more like Fair Isle and put color things together, like Sarah from the Fibertrek. She's going to be working on a Marie Wallen's design, and she's putting together her own color scheme, and she did that with her sense of smell and perfumes, and her journey through inspiration for color work is really interesting also. So, there's another. So, yeah. Anyways, and I also have a Salvador Dali book back here. But so there's inspiration everywhere for colors, and I think to go to the renowned artists is a good way of figuring out what colors would go well in your next project. So my next thing that I'm going to be doing is really exciting, and it kind of goes along with the whole color work thing. So I belong to a a Facebook group, a local one, knitting, and the coordinator had posted a picture of a bunch of hats that she had made for her daughter's class, and I loved the idea, so I reached out to her and she sent me the PDF, and it's a hat, and so it's a blank hat, and I gave it to my coworker's 6-year-old daughter, and I said, have her color in the hat whatever color she wants, and I will make the hat for her. And this is what she came up with. So I got my work cut out for me. But I'm super excited for the challenge, and so yeah, it's probably going to be some duplicate stitch, and there's going to be some buttons that are going to be added on, and there's going to be some, I don't know, I think I'm going to have to really work on this one. And I've never made a pom-pom before. I am going to work on some color charting. So my amateur design work is going to be something that I explore for this year. So yeah, stay tuned for this project. I hope that by the time she gets it, she still likes this color scheme that she's created. But if not, it will be a hat that I can hold on to remind me of my earlier designer schemes. And designing isn't really something that I'm interested in doing, but who knows, it will be something fun to try. I am going to be more resourceful. So that's the second word, and so that is just really, I had spent a lot of going through all of the main yarn shops and purchasing all of the yarn for the night shift shawl, and so I think my budget for yarn spending probably was for the next 5 years was spent in one summer. So I'm gonna just do what I can out of my own stash. I have a pretty significant amount of yarn that I have accumulated over the last 10 years. And so I'm just going to look back into the old projects. I even have one of those shoe organizers, and I have yarn with patterns in the organizer. So I can just go and pull out a project and just start working on that. So I have a lot that I can work from without having to make any new purchases, and that includes patterns, because I have a ton of books and magazines, and I would see a pattern that I really liked either on Instagram, and so I would just go and buy it. And so I have a ton in my Ravelry library and a ton just paper, and like I said, in books and in magazines. So let me know if you have a favorite book that you have just collecting dust, and if, you know, maybe we can explore knitting books together. I was gifted Elizabeth Zimmerman's book, and it has the surprise cardigan, which I am totally have in the back of my mind, especially with all this color work and scraps that I'm going to be accumulating, especially from this night shift shawl. I definitely will probably be making something out of that book. I also, so that's resourceful. I also, in regards to my third and final word, charitable. So I have yarn that I can donate. I like to go thrifting, and the first place that I go to in the store, my local thrift store, is the craft area, and I just like to check out the yarn. Well, I thought, well, maybe I could make somebody else happy who goes into these stores, and the first place that they go to is to see what's available, because that was where I first went when I first started learning how to knit. That's where I bought my first set of knitting needles, was at the thrift store. And I will go through my stash, and I certainly have a large enough stash of acrylic that I can donate, and then I can even have other balls of yarn to donate. And the other thing that I want to do is knit 2 hats, maybe 1 hat. I'm not sure how ambitious I'm thinking right now, but I definitely want to have a stockpile of winter hats to donate. Andrew from the AlbanachKnitter, he collects beanies, and or he has like a beanie knit along thing where I don't know that I'll ship them to Scotland, because certainly in Maine there's plenty of people who need hats, so I can just donate them to the local charity here. So that is what I want to do as far as charitable, and I will also, if people want to learn how to knit, I certainly will donate my time and my resources to make new knitters. So yeah, so colorful, resourceful, and charitable. So is that something that kind of makes you think, what are my words? So if that does, certainly leave them in the comments, and let me know what they are. And even if it's just word, that's fine. You don't have to be 3 words, but yeah, Alexa was really thoughtful in her word choices, and I just wanted to sort of pass that along. So I am going to end here, because that's all I have to share for now. I hope that you are having a great beginning of the year, and I hope that you are well and healthy, and those around you are well and healthy. Right now there's like this terrible sickness, cold, RSV, COVID is just sort of sweeping through like my community, at work and at just around. So luckily we sort of got over that. We got hit by it around the Christmas time, but so we're sort of coming out of it now. But I hope you're doing well, and I hope that you are inspired by what you see here. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment. I love the comments. I love to respond to the comments. So I will say goodbye, wish you well, continue to do the things that you love, and until next time, happy crafting!